All right, so first of all, Hare Krishna to all the Krishna Katha Desh devotees. I'm so happy to see you all after a long gap, and please accept my humble obeisances. Vancha kalpataru bhayascha kripa sindhuvevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. So thank you so much for giving me this privilege to have a divine association of all the Krishna Katha Desh devotees. The pleasure is all mine to have all of your association today. Thank you so much. I'm very happy to see all of your faces. I was asked to speak on the glories of holy name. So I directly thought about speaking from canto 6, chapter 2, Ajamil's pastime, because that's our favorite pastime, where we can see the practical demonstration how the holy name is so powerful, and how Ajamil, just by chanting one time Narayan's name, got delivered. So I thought I will read a couple of slokas and translation and purport from this particular chapter, and then we will dive into the glories of holy name, and then we will go to the second part of today's session, which I was asked to speak about effective chanting. So just to get us all in the mood, I'll first speak one or two slokas, Srila Prabhupada's purport and translation. So with me, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayo mudiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavate uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naischiki. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Damodar Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Shishi Gaur Nitai ki jai. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. His Holiness Jai Pataka Swami Guru Maharaj ki jai. ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrinda ki jai. And all glories to all the Vaishnavas. So, we'll be reading from Canto 6, Chapter 2, text number 11. Na niskriter udite brahma vadibhis तथा विशुद्ध्याति अघवन् व्रतादिभिः यथा हरे नाम पदेरुदाहृते तदुत्तम श्लोक गुणानापलम्बकम्. By following the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies or undergoing atonement, sinful men do not become as purified as by chanting once the holy name of Lord Hari. Although ritualistic atonement may free one from sinful reactions, it does not awaken devotional service, unlike the chanting of the Lord's name, which reminds one of the Lord's fame, qualities, attributes, pastimes, and paraphernalia. Naikantikam tadhikrite pinishkrite mana punardhavati cheda satpate tatkarma nirharam abhipsatam harer gunanuvada khalu sattva bhavana. The ritualistic ceremonies of atonement recommended in the religious scriptures are insufficient to cleanse the heart absolutely, because after atonement one's mind again runs towards material activities. Consequently, for one who wants liberation from fruitive reactions of material activities, the chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra or the glorification of the name, fame, and pastimes of the Lord is recommended as the most perfect process of atonement, because such chanting eradicates the dirt from one's heart completely. At the time of death, this Ajamila helplessly and very loudly chanted the holy name of the Lord Narayan. That chanting alone has already freed him from the reactions of all sinful life. Therefore, O servants of Yamaraja, do not try to take him to your master for punishment in hellish conditions. Sanketyam parihasyam va stobham helanam eva va Vaikuntha nama grahanam asesaghaharam vidhu. One who chants the holy name of the Lord is immediately freed from the reactions of unlimited sins. Even if he chants indirectly, jokingly, for musical entertainment or even neglectfully, this is accepted by all the learned scholars of the scriptures. If one chants the holy name of Hari and then dies because of an accident, such as falling from the top of the house, slipping and suffering broken bones while traveling on the road, being bitten by a serpent, being afflicted with pain and high fever, or being injured by a weapon, maybe they should also add, or even affected by COVID-19, one is immediately absolved from having to enter hellish life even though he is sinful. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 8.6, Yam Yam Vapi Smaran Bhavam Tyajatante Kalevaram Tam Tam Iveti Kaunteya Sada Tad Bhava Bhavita. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, that state he will attain without fail. If one practices chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, he is naturally expected to chant Hare Krishna when he meets with some accident. Even without such practice, however, if one somehow or the other chants the holy name of the Lord, when he meets with an accident and dies, he will be saved from hellish life after death. So like this, in this chapter we see amazing slokas one after the another, that how chanting of the holy name is so powerful and how it can relieve everybody from sins. In fact, I came across one very beautiful sloka from Skanda Puran. It says that chanting of the holy name is so powerful. It says, I'll read the exact sloka. Gokotidanam grahane khagasya prayaga gangodaka kalpavasa yagnayutam meru suvarnadanam Govinda Kitena Samam Satamshe. Says that even if one gives 1 crore cows as a donation during solar eclipse, or if one does 10,000 yagyas, or even if one gives donation of gold equal to the Mount Meru, mountain, that much gold if somebody gives us a donation, or let's say if somebody lives in Prayag, in the bank of Ganga for 1 kalpa. So if somebody does all these pious activities together or individually or together, it's not equal to even 1 part of the 100 parts of merit that somebody gets by simply chanting one time the name of Govinda. That's all. If somebody chants one time Govinda, then that gives one so much merit that even if all these pious activities done together will not give the person so much merit. So imagine how powerful is the chanting of the holy name. In fact, we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami says that Kaler Dosha Nidhe Rajan Asti Eko Mahaguna. In this Kali Yuga there is only one thing, chanting of the holy name. And then we see how in Shikshashtakam Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti, that the Lord has infested all the powers in His holy name. And then we see the slokas from Kali Santra Upanishad, we see Bhavishya Puran, Harer Nameva Kevalam, Harer Nameva Kevalam. So that means we see all over in all the scriptures that the chanting of the holy name is very powerful, and if one chants the holy name of the Lord, he can be immediately delivered, one can be relieved from sinful actions, one can get connected to Krishna, one's material desires reduces, one ashakti for attachment for Krishna increases, one's misery decreases, one's attachment to the devotees increases, one's purification of the heart happens. So like that, since all of us are in this devotional process for a long time now, we have heard in number of classes about the glories of the holy name. Now, my question for today is, we are all hearing the glories of holy name and we are all been chanting. Now, why are we chanting? What is our whole goal behind chanting? The whole goal behind chanting is we want to develop a connection with Krishna. We want to develop a connection with Krishna. See, at many occasions we have heard about number of ways to connect to Krishna. We have seen in Navavidhi Bhakti, in the different 9 types of process, there is Shravanam, there is Kirtanam, there is Padasevanam, Archanam. But you see, one thing that we could all experience during this lockdown is how, at the end of the day, the only one thing that is easily accessible to us is holy name. So during this lockdown, the temples are closed, the deity seva is closed, the garland making is closed, the book distribution is closed, the preaching is closed, the prasadam distribution is closed, the tirtha yatras is closed. But the only thing that is always accessible to us in every situation is the holy name. And this lockdown that we are going through is a practical a demonstration, a practical experience that we are all going through. Now imagine, like when we get old, when our body doesn't have strength, when we are physically weak, we won't be able to render all the services that we are doing. But only one thing that we can always do in every situation, even when we are locked inside the rooms in our houses due to this virus, is that we can chant the holy name of the Lord. And this holy name of the Lord is so powerful. It is the only, see, the thing is, we are only living in a temporary world, and Krishna is there in the permanent world, Goloka. And now from this temporary world, we want to connect with Krishna in his permanent world. Now, what is our way of connecting to him is this holy name. When we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then we can get connected to the permanent space that we are all thriving to go to, right? So this is a Hare Krishna Maha Mantra connects us to the permanent world of Krishna. And why are we even away from the world of Krishna is because we have certain anarthas, or we have certain covering which needs to be given up, and holy name also helps in removing those anarthas, removing those covering. The other day I was hearing one very beautiful class by His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj, and he was making a very beautiful point. He was explaining this Kaliya Daman Leela, and then at the end he made this very beautiful point. He said, what happened in the Kaliya Daman Leela? Krishna danced on the hoods of Kaliya, and that way he removed all the venomous poison of enviousness. Yeah, that anartha Kaliya had, right? In the Krishna Samhita, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says that every demon in the Krishna Leela represents one or the other anartha, and we all know Kaliya represents enviousness. So Radhanath Maharaj was explaining that how when Krishna stood on the hoods of Kaliya, then Kaliya vomited all the venomous poison out. He became purified by the touch of Krishna, and then Krishna subdued him, Krishna purified him, and Krishna gave him this opportunity to be part in his Leela. And then now he said, we also have a Kaliya in our mouth. Usually we give this example, Kaliya in the heart, but he said, very unique, please hear carefully. He said, we also have Kaliya in our mouth. And he said that Kaliya is the snake, the tongue. What does our tongue do? Our tongue is also full of venomous poison of enviousness towards devotees, criticism of devotees, fault finding of the devotees. This is what our tongue, Kaliya tongue, is doing. Now, that Kaliya in Vrindavan was purified by Krishna's lotus feet. So who's going to purify our tongue? And then Maharaj said that Kali Kale Nama Rupa Krishna Avatar. Krishna in Kali Yuga comes in the form of his name. So he said that if we chant the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, this Maha Mantra with the snake-like tongue of ours, then this Harinam will dance on the hoods of our tongue and subdue it and purify it, and we will be free from the envious poison that we are carrying. So I thought that was so beautiful point, that in this Kali Yuga, the only way is to chant Krishna's name. Now we chant Krishna's name because we want to get connected to Krishna. Now we want to get connected to Krishna, but what is our present relationship with Krishna? Is it active relationship Is it a passive relationship? This is what we need to work on. See, passive relationship is something which, something like we chant our 16 rounds, we get up in the morning, we read Bhagavatam, we go to our workspace, wherever we're supposed to go, we come back in the evening, do arti, take rest, sleep, eat, take prasad and go to rest. And then again next day morning we have the same routine, and the other next day morning we have the same routine and the same routine. Now this is our passive relation with Krishna. I mean, we are doing what we are supposed to do. But what is an active relationship with Krishna? When there is something happening in our bhakti. Something happening means when we are chanting, we are joyful and there's lots of gratitude, and sometimes there are tears, and sometimes there's something happening in our bhakti life. We talk to Krishna, there's some exchange, we pray. So is this all happening in our life? If it's not happening, that means we have a passive relationship with Krishna. If our bhakti is not very happening bhakti, right? We have a passive relation. Now, why is our relationship passive? And what should we do to make our passive relationship into an active relationship with Krishna? Now, to do that, we need to increase our faith on Krishna. Now, you may say, faith on Krishna? We have faith on Krishna. That is why we are all wearing kanti, took initiation, we are chanting, we are following. Definitely we have faith on Krishna. But the problem is, our definition of faith is very limited. We think faith means, I believe in Krishna, and that's faith. Okay, I know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that's faith. But that's not true. That's not true. The faith is actually made up of three things. The faith needs three ingredients. What are those three ingredients? Faith means you should have knowledge about Krishna. Now we'll say, well, we all have knowledge about Krishna. I mean, we all know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the faith doesn't stop there. See, even Zakir Naik also has knowledge about scriptures. A person who has PhD in Sanskrit also has knowledge about scriptures. But not necessarily he may be having faith. Like we also have knowledge. Ete chamsha kala pungsha krishnastu bhagwan. So we can go on. From Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, we can quote so many scriptures. But that is our knowledge about Krishna. Now, a little bit ahead of knowledge is something called belief. That means we have knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but do we believe it? So belief is a little higher than knowledge, where we say, yeah, I believe because it is written in this book, it is written in that book, and I heard from this Maharaj and this has happened. Now that is also very low level because it is knowledge plus belief, but it may not be trusting Krishna. See, knowledge you get by Shravanam. Belief you get by Mananam. You are continuously hearing so many classes, so you start believing, yeah, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. But after Shravanam and after Mananam, there has to be something called Nidhi Dhyanam, or there's something where you practically demonstrate your faith on Krishna, and that is when the faith gets complete, when you have knowledge, belief and trust. This is something like, I was hearing this very beautiful story of how one lady, her husband was suffering from leprosy. So some of the elders of the village said, if you go to Kasi and you take bath in Ganga, then your husband will be relieved from all the diseases. So she said, very well. So now her husband was suffering from leprosy, he was handicapped, so he couldn't walk. In those days there were no vehicles. So she just carries her husband, and all the way they're on the way to Kasi. Now in between she gets tired, so she asks her neighbors, can you lift my husband so that we can reach Kasi? And they said, how can we lift? He's having leprosy and it's contagious and we may also get the disease. Then she said, well, just now you said that if you dip inside Ganga on reaching Kasi, all the diseases will go away. So even if you get leprosy, we are all going to dip in Ganga, is it not? And we'll be getting relieved of the disease. And they were like, oh, that's all right. Okay, now you mind your own business. And they just left. So she was surprised that they just now said that if you dip in Ganga, the disease will be gone. But when the practical demonstration came where they were supposed to carry the leprosy infected person, then they said, no. That means here, there is no complete faith. There is knowledge. There is a belief that they go to Kasi, it may be cured, but they don't trust it. There is a difference there. See, trust is when you practically take an action which is based on your belief, with a belief or complete a faith that Krishna is our spiritual father and he will protect us. And when you start acting like that, then your faith is a complete faith. I remember a couple of months ago, I was trying to buy one wooden swing, you know, in India we have this very beautiful wooden swing you can keep in your balcony. So I went there and the salesman was convincing me, this swing is very good quality, madam, and it's been built with very good quality wood. So he went on and on explaining all the qualities and from where they have exported and all, and I was quite impressed with the kind of knowledge the salesman had. Now this was the knowledge part of it. And then the owner who was sitting inside the cabin, he came out and he said, no, Mataji, this is so good, and I sold at least 500 pieces and I've been in this business from 30 years. Now I'm just trying to tell you, the salesman had knowledge, the owner has belief because he has been successfully selling it to so many people for so many years. But now the last part of it comes. Now this salesman, he was trying to explain to me that even if 100 kg weight person sits on this jula, it won't break. Now this owner of this shop, he was very fat and almost like 78, 90 kgs. Now what he did is, to convince me, he actually sat on the jula and he started swinging. And when he started swinging, I had a complete faith now that because this man not only had the knowledge, he not only believed that the swing of was good company, but he also trusted, because if he would not have trusted, he wouldn't have sit himself, otherwise he would have fallen down. So faith means belief, faith means knowledge, and faith means trust, where you show practical demonstration. Now why am I even taking up this topic now is, we all want to chant nicely, we all want to have a connection with Krishna, and we all want our connection with Krishna should be very strong. We all want that our chanting should be very powerful. But then why is it not powerful? Is because of lack of faith. And when we say this to somebody who has been a 16 rounder for 20 years and 30 years, they'll be like, what are you talking about? But then these are something really basic which we need to explore, that something somewhere we are not able to 100% trust, right? That is why there is no quality coming in our chanting. Now somebody may say, well, we were just reading the Ajamil pastime, Sanketyam, Parihasyam, Stobam, Helanam. So do we really need faith, Mataji? Because just now in this sloka, the Vishnu Dutas are saying that even if somebody chants jokingly, even if somebody chants for fun or mistakenly, accidentally, still he gets all the benefits. So why this whole lecture about increasing our faith? What are we benefited by increasing our faith? Now the problem is, if something is not done with faith, it won't last long. You can do it for some time and some more time, but you can't do it forever. So faith is, if we increase our faith, then we will be able to chant consistently, steadily, and forever. So that is why we need to increase our faith. And the second thing is, when we increase our faith, then our devotional service can be expanded. We'll do it more happily, we'll do it more enthusiastically. See, if you really have faith that if you chant one time name of Govinda, it is so powerful, then how your chanting will be, every beat that you say Hare Krishna, it will be so powerful when you have complete faith. So it will help us in improving our overall quality of our devotional life, and it also helps us in situations like this, like the present situation that we are all going through, the whole world is going through. So as devotees, I have seen, especially last 2-3 months, sometimes devotees are writing emails, especially, those who are new in Krishna consciousness, that how are we supposed to look at this? Because we saw some devotees in London, they died because of corona, and then there are some other devotees we came to know are leaving their bodies because of corona. So is Krishna not protecting? What is this happening? If Krishna is treating the devotees and the materialistic people at par, what is the use of doing devotion? Oh, so many doubts are coming in the mind. So now this faith, when we work in the direction of increasing our faith towards Krishna, then all these doubts will be killed, because so many doubts come in our mind, right? See, the whole thing is Krishna's definition of protection and our definition of protection is different. Krishna's timings and our timings are different, and that is why we are always bound to have doubts. Oh, is Krishna really looking at us? Is Krishna really protecting? What is this happening? So at that time, when we have an increased faith, this will help. See, when you are in a war also, you have a sword and you have a shield. You start attacking your enemies with the sword. At the same time, you also keep protecting yourself with the shield when enemy is trying to hit you. So similarly, when we fight with Maya, there is a sword which we use. At the same time, we also need a shield of faith to protect us. So when we increase our faith, we can protect ourselves from Maya by putting this shield of faith in front of us, right? Because Krishna's timing of protection, Krishna's conditions, Krishna's judgment of situations, Krishna's conclusions, Krishna's actions are so different. I was, in the 1980s, there was this very famous Bollywood hero called Rajkumar. So for everything, he will use this word Jani. He has this very famous dialogue where he says that, it is in Hindi. I hope you all, some of them can understand Hindi. He says, हम मारेंगे आपको, ज़रूर मारेंगे, लेकिन जब हम मारेंगे, गोली भी हमारी होगी, बंदूक भी हमारी होगी, और वक्त भी हमारा होगा. So what I'll just explain it in English. He says that I'm going to kill you. Definitely I'll kill you. But when I will kill you, that time will be mine, the condition will be mine, the pistol will be mine, and the bullet will be mine. Now similarly, Krishna also says this to us. He says, my dear devotee, I'll protect you. Definitely I'll protect you. But when will I protect you? The condition will be mine, the time will be mine, the situation will be mine, the decision will be mine, not yours. It's Krishna's decision. So we need to have that faith on Krishna, that whatever he decides for us, it's good for us, right? So when we increase our faith on Krishna, then all these doubts will go away, and we will have strength to endure every kind of a provoking situation in our life. Now, we understand we have to increase faith. How do we increase faith? It's not available in the market. It's not sold in kgs. How should we increase our faith? There are certain tips for us to increase our faith on Krishna. The common tips, the regular ones: associate with devotees, have gratitude for whatever situation it is, have patience. This is one very important thing. Sometimes as devotees, we lose patience. We need to have patience. And if we have patience, in Hindi there is a saying, "Dheeraj ka phal meetha hota hai." The mangoes, if you just take out some kacha mangoes, unripe mangoes, and then you put some carbide and make them sweet, it's different. But if you wait patiently and allow the mango to ripe on the tree, it will be so sweet. In spiritual life also, we need to have a lot of patience, Krishna is looking at us. Definitely don't make conclusions. Sometimes as devotees, we start making permanent judgments and conclusions based on temporary emotions. This one line you can always keep in mind. Don't make permanent conclusions or permanent judgment based on temporary emotions or temporary situations. Situations will keep changing. Just have faith on Krishna. Just have patience. Keep praying. You can write down this one acronym. It will be very helpful to you. Whenever you feel a little impatient, PUSH. Push. Push means pray until something happens. PUSH. Pray until something happens. Just keep doing that. Pray patiently. Krishna is looking. Every single thing that we do, Krishna is observing. He is taking everything into his notice. You see, there was this one man. He was serving a household for maybe 30 years. he became old now. So he went to the owner and he said, "Sir, I worked for you for 30 years now, so I wish to retire and go back to my village." So he said, "Very well, you can go." So while saying this, he was crying. So the owner asked, "Why are you crying?" So he said, "No, I'm just thinking that I served you for so long selflessly, but I never saved anything for myself, and now I'll be going empty hand back to my village." So the owner said, "Oh, you have mistaken me. Come here, I want to show you something." So the owner took the servant by his hand and they went inside a room. And what he sees inside that room is there are brown earthen pots all covered with a white cloth. And then the owner removes that cloth. And what he sees, lo and behold, the whole earthen pots are full of gold coins and lot of things. And he says, "What is this?" So then the owner says that all along this 30 years, whatever service you did to me, for every single service of yours, I had been saving this money for you. And now that you are going back home, this is all for you. And I was thinking, this is such a beautiful example even in our lives, because sometimes we may be also thinking, "Oh Krishna, for 30 years I'm chanting every day 16 rounds. I never forget Mangalarti. I'm doing preaching. I distribute Bhagavad Gita. I'm doing prasadam distribution. I brought so many people in your service. So many things I'm doing. Krishna, are you even looking at me? Are you even seeing?" Now, Krishna may not respond to you right now. But when the final time comes and when we are ready to go back and embark on the final journey, the last journey, at that time, Krishna will open this white bed sheet and he will tell you, "Hey, look, I remember everything. I remember that one time on Janmashtami, you were doing service on the chapel stand. I remember you distributed prasadam. I remember you sold this many Gitas. Hey, look, I haven't forgotten everything. Everything is right here. I've saved here for you. And now you can come back with me, back home, back to Godhead." So Krishna is noting down every single thing that we are doing. We may think nobody saw that, but he is noting down every single seva that you did, every little thing that you did for him. He is noting down, right? So we need to have that faith on Krishna, and to increase faith, we need to have patience. We need to have patience. Sometimes we are in a hurry. See, even if you want to, even in a Bollywood movie, you have to see the whole movie till the end to enjoy the movie. If you want to see the ending without seeing the whole movie, you will not enjoy it. Okay, this is the climax, this is the ending. It won't be interesting. But if you go through the whole movie and you see the whole climax, a suspense movie at the end, then you will understand, oh, that is why when the movie began, they showed a curtain with a man's leg, below the curtain. Oh, now I understand why that leg was shown. Oh, now I understand why that broken table was shown. Now what will happen? You will connect all the dots together because you saw the whole movie till the end. But if you see only the climax, you cannot understand anything. So in Krishna consciousness also, that is the whole thing. You need to have patience and go through all situations. Suppose if you say, why not Krishna make all proper arrangements? I don't have any other desire except preaching about him, and why can't he make situation conducive for me? And why can't he remove all the hurdles so that I can simply chant his name, eat prasadam and preach? Then you will never even understand the whole thing, because you don't go through things, you actually grow through things. So every situation that you face in your life is actually adding something to your whole personality. And then you can look at the big picture, you can have an aerial view, and then you can start connecting everything. Oh, that is why that devotee said like that. Oh, that is why that happened to me 20 years back or 10 years back. Oh, that is why I went to that mall and I got connected to this devotee. Everything is a bigger plan of Krishna, but you just need to have patience. So to increase your faith in Krishna, you need to have patience. You have to have association of devotees. You need to be having commitment. You need to have gratitude. You need to have gratitude for every little thing that Krishna does in our life. We need to have gratitude, right? We need to have gratitude. So if we do that, then our faith on Krishna will increase day by day. I read one very beautiful story 2 days ago. I'll share with you about faith. It's a very interesting story. It is about Parasar Bhatt. Now, Parasar Bhatt, we all know, son of Kuresh, he was a very good devotee. So one day it so happened that this Parasar Bhatt, every day in the evening, lot of scholars used to come and meet him. And he used to give a very lukewarm response, okay, Hare Krishna, how are you? And the scholars used to go away. But then there was one beggar, he used to just take a vessel and go from house to house begging. Whenever he used to come to the temple, Parasar Bhatt used to speak to him very nicely, sit with him, have long conversations, laugh with him, talk with him. So once his disciples got a doubt, Guru Maharaj, these scholars come and you don't even talk to them, and this beggar comes who has absolutely zero knowledge about scriptures and you spend so much time with him. So Parasar Bhatt said, I will not reply to this question. I will demonstrate to you tomorrow. They said, all right. So next day morning, the scholars came again and Parasar Bhatt is like, hello, how are you? Have a seat. So then Parasar Bhatt, he asked one question to this scholar. He asked in Sanskrit, he says, Paratattva Naam Kim? What is the name of that Supreme Personality of Godhead? Now these are all scholars. So they started quoting from different Puranas and this and that and this scripture, that scripture, and at the end they said, look, now you understand? So it is a little complicated. So if you tell me to tell you one name, it is difficult because Lord has many names and we cannot decide which name, and because this scripture says this, so this, and so finally Parasar Bhatt says, so finally what is the name? Yeah, that's what we are telling now. It is little difficult to tell you one name because so many. Then Parasar Bhatt said, all right, so whenever you decide on finally what is the name of that Paratattva, kindly inform me. Yeah, sure, we'll inform you. And then next this beggar came. So then Parasar Bhatt sat with the beggar and then he asked the same question to the beggar. And he asked, Paratattva Naam Kim? What is the name of that Supreme Personality of Godhead? Now this beggar, he didn't reply. He got very upset, got very angry. He was having a small copper bowl in which he used to beg. He was looking at that ball, eyes became red, very angry. Suddenly he took the ball and he threw it on the wall. Very loud noise, thud. Everybody got shocked, what happened? And then he shouted on Parasar Bhatt. He said, I thought you are a devotee of the Lord. I thought you are a big guru. So many disciples, such a big ashram you are running. And this is the silly question you ask me. Paratattva Naam Kim? That much knowledge you don't have. Who is Supreme Personality of Godhead? Ranganath is Supreme Personality of Godhead. That much knowledge you don't have. Unnecessary, I wasted my time with you so many days. He took his copper ball and he went away from there. Then Parasar Bhatt looked at his disciples. Now did you see? These scholars had so much knowledge, but they were unable to decide on what is the name of the Supreme Lord. And this fellow has zero knowledge, but he knows that much, that Ranganath is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like we also see in Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita, this story comes of how Srila Prabhupada is discussing in his room with some scholars on who is God, and they are not able to, oh, this is then that and this, and they tell so many things. And then Prabhupada just calls a little Saraswati who is playing outside, and Prabhupada calls and asks Saraswati, who is God? And she's just 4 or 5 years old, and she says, Prabhupada, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Prabhupada immediately takes out some gulab jamun from his bowl, and then he gives to Saraswati, and then he looks at the scholars that, you people are reading so many scriptures, but you could not answer a simple question which a 5-year-old girl could say that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I was talking about faith. We need to have faith on the Lord. Now we can develop the faith on the Lord when we have association with those who have faith on the Lord. Right? If we associate with those who are drunkards, then we'll become drunkard one fine day. So if we associate with those devotees, then one fine day we will also have a faith on the Lord. We need a Satam Krupa. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says we need Satam Krupa, the Krupa of the Vaishnavas. Only then we can develop faith on the Supreme Lord. Because these pure Vaishnavas, they carry Krishna Prem in their heart. And when we render some seva to them, when we come in association with them, then these Krishna Prem in their heart gets agitated. And then it gets sprinkled on us. And with that sprinkling that happens on us, even we develop faith on Krishna. So we need to take association of devotees. I'll tell you one beautiful story. You must have heard it. It is a very, very popular story about His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. And Giriraj Swami Maharaj was sharing that how when he was young in Boston, when he first met Prabhupada, and then he asked this question to Prabhupada, that Prabhupada, how do we select a guru? And Prabhupada said, depends on what you want. Do you want to become God, or do you want to become servant of God? So Giriraj Maharaj was a little taken aback. How come Prabhupada said this? You want to become God or servant of God? How did Prabhupada know that somewhere deep in my heart I have this fancy idea of becoming God someday? How did Prabhupada even look through me? And maybe Prabhupada is able to see that in my apartment, in my room. I have this poster wherein there is a finger pointing out saying that you will become God someday. So how did even Prabhupada know that? Oh my God, Prabhupada is so powerful. He can look through people. So he was very impressed with Prabhupada, and he was very impressed with Prabhupada's teachings. And then slowly he became a devotee. He started associating with devotees. Then what happened? After 1.5 years, Srila Prabhupada again came to Boston. So again, after giving Bhagavatam class, Srila Prabhupada asked, any questions? So Giriraj Maharaj raised hands. Yeah, I have a question. The moment Prabhupada saw him, Prabhupada said, I know you. You're a very good boy. And then, now listen carefully what Prabhupada said. He said something so beautiful. Prabhupada said, when I came last time, I looked at you and I was thinking in my mind that Krishna, please make this boy a devotee. Such a nice boy, so good boy. Please make him devotee. I was praying to Krishna for you. And then Giriraj Maharaj says in his class that when Prabhupada said that, then I understood, oh, how come I became a devotee? How did a person like me become a devotee? Because a pure Vaishnava has prayed to Krishna that please make him a devotee. That is how I became a devotee. So if we are a devotee today, or whatever, if we can call ourselves devotee today, it's definitely because of Satam Kripa. Some Vaishnava out there, somebody out there is praying for us. He is praying to Krishna, please make this person a devotee. That is how we are becoming devotee. So association of devotee is very, very important. That will help us in increasing our faith. Now, coming to certain practical tips which I was asked to give in today's class to improve our chanting. Now, see, the problem is some of them are very pure devotees. For them, chanting is like they are, what do you say, alcoholics, those who are like, they just can't, they're habituated, or rather they say addicted would be the right word. They're addicted to chanting. No matter what will happen, they will chant. They have complete faith. They are pure devotees. They are on one level. For them, chanting is everything in this world. And then there are some devotees, or rather newcomers, or rather materialistic people who have no interest in chanting. There are somebody like, Prabhupada gives this example of that old man whose wife was asking that chant, 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 and he says can't, can't, can't. He says can't, 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 but he doesn't chant, even though he's in the deathbed. So there are some people who are on that level, and then there are some people who are on that level where they're addicted to chanting. But people like you and me are on the, at least me, on that level where neither we are up, neither we are down. It's not that we don't have complete faith on chanting. So what we really need to do is, we simply need to add a little taste to our chanting. We are already doing, but we just need to make it a little tasty. And how do you make a thing tasty? It's just that you add some salt. Without salt, there is no taste. I heard this very beautiful acronym of salt from some devotee, which I will share with you today. It really touched my heart. So this devotee was telling this about this acronym SALT. He said, if we can add this SALT in our chanting, then our chanting will become very tasty. As of now, what is happening is that we are doing chanting, but it is a little bit like a, We're doing it because it's our duty. We're doing it because we have taken initiation. We are doing it because it says in the scriptures that we should chant. We are doing it because we want protection. We are doing it because we have some desire. But there's so many things happening. But if we want to make our chanting nice, we want to make our chanting like, where we are really enjoying every word of it, then we need to add salt. And then what is this salt? S-A-L-T, salt. He said salt means, S is you create a sacred space. These are the practical tips for chanting. Is that you clean your heart inside and you clean your heart outside. Then you can chant well. Sacred space is not only that you sit in your puja room and chant, or you sit in a neat and clean place and chant, or you sit in a place where there is no other attractions or diversions. That is one way of creating a sacred space outside. But there should also be a sacred space inside. That means our heart should be pure, our heart should be clean. And how do we clean our heart? By removing certain anarthas, like we have this habit of fault finding, right? See, it's very easy to find fault actually. It's not a very big thing. What is difficult is to glorify devotees. Right? See, like if you are in the ocean, right? You are in the sea. Is it difficult for you to find water in the sea? It's not difficult. You are inside the sea, you can always find water. What is difficult to find is to find some land in between, right? To take shelter. So to find fault with other devotees and people around us, it's very simple, very easily you can find. But to find some good quality in others and glorify them, that is very difficult. So if you want to create that sacred space, then we need to stop fault finding with devotees. We need to stop criticizing devotees. I think it was Radha Govind Maharaj, I think he said that. He said criticizing devotees is like passing stool from our mouth. And if you're passing stool from your mouth, what will happen? Your mouth is going to smell bad. And with that dirty smelling mouth, you can't chant Krishna's name. So when you criticize devotees, that is what you're doing with your tongue. You're passing stool with your tongue. So then how can you create a sacred space? So we stop fault finding, we stop criticizing devotees, and we fill up our heart with gratitude for all the nice things that Krishna is doing. Gratitude doesn't mean that, it has to be really something very big. Then only I express my gratitude to Krishna. You can express your gratitude to Krishna for every little thing that he does. Every little thing, like today we had very nice prasadam, because today was Snan Yatra. We celebrated at ISKCON Vishakhapatnam today, and we had very tasty prasadam. So we can always say, Krishna, thank you so much. The prasadam was so nice. Or Krishna, thank you so much. The program went so well. Or Krishna, thank you so much. I had a great night's sleep and I took good rest. Krishna, thank you so much. Today's chanting was so good. You can go on thanking Krishna for every little thing. And if you develop this attitude of gratitude, you will become habituated to thank Krishna for every little thing. Every little thing. Even, I'm not trying to blow my own trumpet, but I'm just giving you one example in my life. Like even if I'm searching for a pencil or a pen, sometimes I want to note down some point, and then the moment I get it, now it just comes. Oh, thank you, Krishna. Now what happens is you'll have to consciously develop it, and then after some time it will become so spontaneous that for everything it will come out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. This will always come out. So if these keeps coming out, then your space in the heart will become a sacred space. It will become a clean space. And then when you chant Hare Krishna, oh, it will be so touching. Right? So this is one way we can improve our chanting. So S for sacred space, A for accepting and being aware about our own weakness. It's also about accepting and being aware about what is our goal. Sometimes we are not even sure what we want to do. We are not even aware of our weakness, and we keep very high goals. See, for example, in ISKCON, we devotees, we always keep talking about Goloka Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan. Now, do we even know what is Goloka Vrindavan? This is something like, Mullah Nasruddin. He's a very famous character in Tinkle books. When I was young, as a school student, I used to always read those story books, very funny books. So once Mullah Nasruddin, he tells his servant, he said, can you go out and see if the sun has come? So the servant goes out, and after 10 minutes he comes back. He says, sir, I could not find out if the sun has come out. It's very dark outside. So Mullah said, oh really? Are, you should have taken my torch and gone, na? Then you could have find out if the sun has come out or not. Now tell me, what does this mean? How? You go with the torch and find out if the sun has risen or not? You don't have to. If the sun has risen, it will be lighted everywhere. So now what does this story mean is, they are looking for sun, but they don't even know what is a sun. They want to look at sun with a torch. So sometimes I feel that even in our lives, we're talking about Goloka Vrindavan, but do we even know what we are talking about? What is this Goloka Vrindavan? So we keep like high aims. Now nothing wrong, because it's like, if you aim for the moon, then you will someday get a star, right? I understand. But at the same time, we also need to be very conscious and aware of our limitations. Because sometimes if we just go overboard with expectations from our own self, which we can't fulfill, and then we get disappointed, and then we end up doing nothing. Because Goloka Vrindavan is very far, and we don't see any way ourselves going near, and going back towards materialistic life is a little more easy, because that seems a little more closer, and then ultimately we turn back. So that is why what we need to do is keep short goals, simple goals, achievable goals, and one at a time. Then what will happen, every time that we achieve small goals, it will give us happiness. I could do it. And then it will give you strength to take another one and to take another step. So we need to keep short goals and small goals. So that means, devotees have this regular complaint, I can't chant my 16 rounds properly, and my mind is going here and there, and the quality is not there. So what we can do is, we can keep a short goal. We should not aim at chanting all these 16 rounds excellently. What we can simply do is, today I will chant only one round, maximum one round with quality. That's all sankalpa you take. And don't even aim for 2 rounds, at least for some more time, till you are able to do it very easily. Then what will happen, you'll feel that happiness of, I did so well, and that one round which I had thought that I'll do it qualitatively, very good quality round. And then slowly you go on increasing. So take one step at a time. So be aware of what our limitations are, because unless and until we are cool-headed, we won't be able to make wise decisions. We won't be able to see, unless and until we are in our comfort zone. If we are stressing ourselves too much, we'll be under so much pressure that we won't be able to deliver. See, I'll tell you one story. In a shop, they were trying to come up with some new model of a car. So the designers were working for it, for months now, and they came up with a beautiful car design, and it was now ready for launch. So before that, they said, all right, now we need to take out the car from the garage and take it to the showroom. So they said yes. Now they were ready to take it out, but what they realized is, the car was a little too high, maybe a few centimeters high than the main door of the garage. Now if they remove the car from that door, there will be a scratch in the car. So the owner there, he didn't want that. He said, new car, I don't want there should be scratch. So then the workers said, sir, let's break the walls. Break the wall and the door, take out our car, and then we'll rebuild it. The owner said, no, I don't want to do that. It's a big loss. I don't want to break my garage. Now, what is the solution for this? He doesn't want to break the garage. He doesn't want there should be scratch on the car. Now, it's a big board meeting. Everybody is having a big meeting over this. How will we remove the car? Finally, the watchman, the security guard, he said, sir, if you don't mind, can I give my opinion? And everybody were like, all the MBAs of IIM Ahmedabad are sitting here and discussing, and here the security guard comes. All had come, you give your opinion. So he said very simple. He said, sir, the car is only few centimeters high, is it not, sir? Why not we puncture the tires? If we puncture the tires, the car will go down, and then we take the car out of the garage, and then we again refill the air. Now the solution was so simple. The security guard could give the solution, but these big thinkers in the board meeting could not get it. Why? See, because when you put an over pressure on yourself and you have deadlines and you stress yourself, then you just can't deliver. So same thing happens sometimes because we keep tall goals, very big goals in life, and then we are neither this way, that way, and we feel frustrated. We shouldn't do that. Keep small goals, short goals, right? So have a sacred space, be aware of your own weakness, don't pressure yourself too much, keep short goals, and L is for listening. Listen to the Mahamantra, right? So it's like see, when we are chanting, we are actually trying to develop a relation with Krishna. See what happens, even in a materialistic world, if there has to be a relationship between two people, the first quality of the relationship is listening. If you have a relationship with somebody and imagine the other person doesn't even want to listen to you, then how will you even develop the relationship? So if we want to develop a relationship with Krishna, we need to listen to him. And how should we listen to him? This is the way Krishna talks to us. When we chant his name and when we listen to his name, then this is the way we are developing a relation with him. Krishna will talk to us. By his name, he's talking to us. And then there's so many other realizations will come only if we listen to the holy name. Just listen, and that will develop our relationship with Krishna. So here also you can keep a short goal. If you can't hear the whole 16 rounds, 1728 names, you just keep a short goal. Every day, 5 Mahamantras, I will listen very carefully. Every single word, I will listen very carefully. If you keep a short goal, slowly, you will start listening to the whole 1728 names. So SAL and T. T is time. Sometimes our chanting is so much time based because we have job and we have other sevas and we have other work, and we keep looking at the watch and the time and the clock. I need to complete my rounds, and that's not very good, because this is something like, you are in love with somebody and the lover and the beloved are sitting together. And if the lover keeps on looking at time, yeah, you speak, but you keep looking at the time, it will be so embarrassing. The relationship can't go further. If you love the person, you have to forget about the time. So that means I'm not saying that you chant your 16 rounds for 4 hours, and then, if your wife asks you, Prabhu, why are you chanting today this Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna? Mataji said, no need of looking at time, I'll chant for 4 hours. What I mean to say is that keep that some frame of time wherein this is for Krishna, and during this time I'm not going to look at my watch, or I'm not going to look at my clock. So let's say if you have decided morning 5 to 7 or 5 to 8 or whatever time, so at that time you can keep your smartphones away and watch away. The smartphone has become a real big problem. I think, very soon in our Vaishnav calendar, along with Ekadashi fasting, we'll also have to have smartphone fasting, because that is causing more harm to the devotees. Maybe we should have like certain days, once in a week or Sunday or something in Vaishnav calendar, it should be mentioned, smartphone fasting today up to 12 o'clock or up to midnight 12 o'clock. And it will be really helpful for the devotees, because the smartphone is killing us. It's killing us. Sometimes we actually look at it just for some important information, and then we'll look at another message, and then we'll look at another message. I'll tell you one very interesting thing. Other day, one man, he was asking the other person he came across, and he said, looks like I saw you somewhere. Prabhu, aren't you on Facebook? Tell me. And this devotee was like, no Prabhu, I don't use Facebook. Acha, I must have seen you in Twitter. No Prabhu, I don't use Twitter. Acha, then I must have seen you in YouTube. Is it not? You give lectures in YouTube. No, Prabhu, I'm not in YouTube. Oh, you're in Instagram, is it not? No, Prabhu, I'm not in Insta. Acha, then we may be friends in WhatsApp. No, Prabhu, I'm not in WhatsApp. But then how come your face is so familiar to me, Then that devotee said, well, actually, I'm your next door neighbor last 10 years. I live next to you. And then this devotee was like, oh, I'm sorry. This is a situation with us. We just inside our phone. We don't know what's happening in the outside world. So definitely, if somebody asks me a tip for effective chanting, I give only 3 tips. Give up your smartphone, give up your smartphone, give up your smartphone. That's all. Nothing else. That is a root cause of everything. If that smartphone can be given up, 24 hours fasting can be done, we'll have blissful life. So, smartphone should be given up. So, SALT, salt, a sacred space, awareness, and goal fixing. We need to fix our goal, what we want to, I keep telling this in all my classes. Because sometimes we get too inspired with some devotees class. Oh my God, from today onwards, I will become a pure devotee. Why 16 rounds? I'll chant 64 rounds. Today morning only I was reading this very beautiful sloka in Kalisantra Upanishad. It says that if somebody chants 3.5 crore names of the Lord, the holy name, then he can be relieved from the sin of killing a Brahmana, sin of stealing gold, a sin of having an illicit relation, so many such big list. What you simply need to do is chant 3.5 crores names. And then if you calculate 3.5 crores names means 16 rounds every day for 56 years, or 32 rounds for 28 years, or 64 rounds for 15 years. If you chant every day 64 rounds for 15 years, you will be relieved from all these sins. Now imagine, when we read this kind of slokas, we get so inspired. Sometimes we get so inspired by some speaker. The moment we hear, we are like, I want to become a pure devotee of the Lord, and I will chant 64 rounds, and I will, and oh my God, everything becomes, something like, when you are in love at the show in the Bollywood movies, birds are singing and birds are chirping and everything looks so beautiful. That is what happens to us. Sometimes we are so inspired by a particular speaker, everything starts looking like a sub Krishna lage. I want to become a Krishna devotee. Then very next moment, what happens, you attend some Griha Pravesha, you attend some program, you attend some materialistic function, your family function. Then suddenly your mind will change. Yeah, we can become devotee, that is also good, but this is also required, but this is also important, but I cannot. Now suddenly you start talking about the chandelier in their house and the car in their house and how much material progress they have made, and then we'll start talking about as devotees we should balance both, it's not required, we should have balance of both. So sometimes we swing this way, sometimes we swing this way. We are never sure, we just go like a pendulum here and there. We don't even know what we want. We are not sure. Sometimes we want to become very good devotee, sometimes we want to stay back here, sometimes we want to preach, sometimes we don't want to preach, sometimes very inspired, sometimes not. And then what happens, because we hear too much, so many classes, our level is very low, our goal is very high, and we want to get ourselves to that goal. And instead of accepting that our level is down, we start masking. We just start putting some mask on our, and because we are putting mask, but we are actually not like that. See, the thing is, there is something which we talk about publicly, and there is something that we like privately. So there is a lot of difference between our public life and private life and secret life. The secret life which we and Krishna knows, Paramatma, and then there is public life which all the devotees know, and then there is a private life which you know and your family knows. Now the problem is that there is no alignment between your public life and private life and secret life. And then there are masks, and then there are masks, and then there are masks, and then this mask causes frustration. So what we need to do is just break the mask. Just be what you are inside and then outside, and that will make it so simple. You are what you are, and then you start from there openly. That helps you in improving a lot. Okay, this is where I am, and this is where I have to take a step. But if you mask yourself, other day I was giving a class to the devotees in Richmond. I made them do an exercise. I said, how many of you like Shravan Kumar? Do you want to have a son like Shravan Kumar who listens to you? You know how Shravan Kumar took his parents for yatra, such an obedient son, So how many of you want to have a son like Shravan Kumar? So everybody raised hands. Mataji, we want to have son like Shravan Kumar. And then I asked all the Matajis, all the wives, this question is for you. How many of you want to have a husband who is like Shravan Kumar? Nobody lifted hand. Mataji, we want to have a son who is like Shravan Kumar, but if our husband behaves like Shravan Kumar, then we become very upset. Why? How come he asks everything to his parents? I am married to him. This is our problem. We publicly believe in something, or we talk about publicly something, but privately we believe something else. That is where is the whole controversy. We need to align our public life and private life. Then there will be no masking, right? So, sacred space, awareness and acceptance of what we are, listening to the holy name, and beyond time. Don't keep looking at the time. Give a time to Krishna. Now, you asked me to speak for 1 hour, so I'll just culminate with one last example. There is nothing wrong if your chanting is not happening properly. See, because we are humans, right? So we are not an avatar of the Lord. So when Arjun also said that Chanchalahi Mana Krishna, definitely mind is going to go here and there. There's nothing wrong with that. The whole thing is, when will we be wrong? When we will not try to work in the direction of controlling the mind. I'll repeat again if I have confused you. There is nothing wrong if your mind is going here and there. In fact, if your mind is not going anywhere, you check up with the doctor, right? Because you have a problem. Because if we have something called mind and brain, definitely it will go. It cannot, unless you have some mental problem. It will go here and there. It is active, right? So nothing wrong in your mind going in different direction. What is wrong is when you are not making any conscious endeavor to control it and bring it back to Krishna while you are chanting. So the whole thing is, we need to keep on struggling. The mind goes away and then we bring it back. The mind goes away and then we bring it back. You understand? And you keep on doing this whole process for whole 16 rounds. Then today's round is completed. Then again tomorrow, the mind will go away, you will bring it back. And like that 16 rounds completed. Then you again start tomorrow. That's all is the story of chanting of holy name. In one line. This is what we are supposed to do for the rest of our lives. If you're expecting anything over and beyond and above this, you are in the category of pure devotee. Otherwise, rest all of us are on this level. But only thing is, we'll not stop fighting with Maya. Because the thing is, boxing, and people do boxing, have you seen a boxing match? In the boxing match, there are 13 rounds. And what happens, one person is very powerful. He will go on, giving blow after blow. And the other person will get defeated and he will fall down. And then, the referee will go and, he will blow his whistle and he will say, 1, 2, 3, do you want to get up or not? Get up or not? Then this person will again get up. Even though he got so many blows here and there, he'll get up. Then again he will fight. And then again he will fight. Like that he will go on fighting for 13 rounds, right? And at the end, the referee will take both the boxer's hand. And then he will decide whose hand he will raise as a winner. Now, this is what is happening with us. Only difference is in the boxing ring, there are 13 rounds. In our life, there are 16 rounds. In every round, the boxer Maya will give us one blow here and one blow there and we will fall down. And then our referee Krishna will blow whistle. Do you want to get up? 1, 2, 3 and we'll say, yes, Krishna, I will try again. Again I will try, no problem. One more round I will try. Again you try. Again you try and you keep trying. Definitely you will get a blow, because the thing is, the boxer Maya, she's very powerful because she's having a lot of experience. And we are very small babies in front of that Maya. We are like, imagine in a boxing ring, if a WWF boxer is fighting with a 5-year-old baby boy, who will win? Definitely the WWF boxer will win. How will the 5-year-old boy win? Right? So same thing is, how can we win? Mama Maya Durataya. That is Krishna's energy. How can we fight with Krishna's energy? Definitely Krishna's energy is more powerful than us. So our only job is get the blows. Now, you have to hear the final line statement which I am making. So you keep fighting, and you keep getting the blows of Maya from here and there and here and there. But you know what will happen? After you're done with your 16th round, there is no guarantee. Krishna will hold Maya in one hand, and Krishna will hold us in one hand. And one fine day, if we keep doing like this, one fine day, you know what Krishna will do? He will raise our hand and say, they are the winner, and Maya gets defeated. And we will win it. So we just need to continue. That's all Krishna is asking us. He's not even expecting that we will win, because he knows how powerful this boxer Maya is. He's not even expecting that we are going to win. What he's simply expecting is keep trying. Because you see, in boxing ring, there may be some rule. Who is the winner? But here, Krishna is the boss. So somehow, if the boss is happy with us, he will declare us as a winner, and he will give us the cup. The winner of this year is, and we may get it. So what we simply need to do is keep trying. So with this, I end it here. Sorry to go over time. Harinam Prabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Prabhu, are there many questions or this one question? Then I will elaborate on this.
There are 3 questions, Mataji, so far.
Okay. All right. So, Amarnath Prabhu's question is that one way it is said that if you chant holy name, then you are relieved of all karma. So, if we chant the holy name, will we be relieved of all karma, or do we have to actually take the fruits of results of the karma that we are performing and then go back? Now, actually, the holy name is so powerful that it says that all the karmas that you do, whether it is in a form of a bija, kuta, falama, either it is in a form of a fruit, or it is in form of a seed, or it is in a form of a sapling, whatever form it is, if somebody is chanting the holy name, definitely everything will be destroyed. But again, there are 2 points here. Even after chanting holy name, why are we suffering? Sometimes we see even devotees, they are chanting the holy name, but they are suffering. Now this suffering is not because of our previous karma, but this is Krishna's arrangement. So sometimes he makes us go through certain situations so that we can become more mature in Krishna consciousness. And it is Krishna's way of dealing. We can't even say it is his punishment or something. It's just that he wants us to grow. Like this very famous example of this butterfly which comes out of a cocoon, and how, you know, one small boy saw this butterfly struggling to take out its wing from the cocoon. And he thought, why should the butterfly struggle? So he just took a scissor and he broke open the cocoon. And when the butterfly came out, the butterfly could never fly for the rest of its life, because this whole process of struggling to come out of the cocoon was the God's way of making sure that when the struggling happens, the blood flows through its body, through the wings, and makes the wings strong, so that when it comes out from the cocoon, it can fly. So similarly, whatever we go through is simply Lord's arrangement to make us more mature in Krishna consciousness. But definitely when we are chanting the holy name, we are relieved from all karmas. Now again, the problem is the other way of looking at it. Sometimes even our chanting of holy name may not be pure. When we are talking about, you know, chanting, purifying, the holy name should be of that standard also. That is also very important, because sometimes our chanting of holy name is with aparadh, right? This was actually one very important point which I have forgotten to mention in today's class, is that sometimes our chanting is ineffective also because we are committing the offenses, you know, the 10 offenses that we regularly chant. So sometimes when we are chanting, if we are chanting with offense, then also, you can't see the complete result. It's not that it will not give result, because holy name is so powerful, but the only thing is that it is like a sun is there, but it's covered with clouds. So it's not that sun is not there, but it's covered with clouds. So sometimes when we are chanting, but if we are chanting with aparad, then it's covered with clouds. So this is a thing. So what we need to do is, we need to keep faith that holy name is very powerful and it's purifying us from all our past karmic activities. At the same time, we need to work in the direction of improving the quality of our holy name, because the chanting of the holy name, the purpose of chanting of the holy name is not simply to relieve us from sinful activities, because to relieve us from sinful activities, there are many other things also that we can do. This may be a shortcut, but basically the whole purpose is to develop a connection with Krishna, to develop attachment towards Krishna, to appease Krishna, so that we can go back to him.
One more question from Lakshman Rao Ritu Chakra. Hare Krishna Mataji, today we are able to hear your lecture in class because of smartphone only. How we can associate this kind of situation like COVID-19 without smartphones?
Yeah, so definitely this is something like, there is a knife which you can use for cutting your finger, and the doctor can use the same thing for doing a surgery. So definitely today we are using this smartphone for Krishna consciousness, but at the same time, sometimes we end up using it for anti-devotional purposes or non-devotional purposes. So we just need to be smart, and we should make sure that we are more smart than the smartphone, because sometimes the smartphone makes fool out of us. It attracts us saying that come, this is only for Krishna consciousness, but we end up doing something else. So if a devotee is in complete control of his mind and he's not using the smartphone for anything but Krishna consciousness, then definitely smartphone is a boon. But we just need to regulate it. That's it. We need to regulate the use of it and not get carried away by it. So definitely I'm not against smartphone.
One question from Sachin Prabhu from Jagannath Puri Chakra. Hare Krishna Mataji, whatever some of bubbles in mind that cleared, please suggest some practical tips while on beats and way to control drag and the flickering mind for attentive quality chanting.
Okay, so did you say that give us some practical point on how to control our mind? Is that the question?
Yes, Mataji.
Practical point. Oh, there can be hundreds of practical points, which I feel is like those common sense points, something like take rest early in the night so that you are well rested, so that during chanting you don't feel too sleepy and drowsy. Make sure that the 2 hours of chanting that you do is also the result of what you have been doing in the other 22 hours. So make sure that the 22 hours you spend in a proper mood, then that 2 hours in chanting will happen nicely. If you're already saturated with lots of materialistic things, then the taste in chanting will not come. See, for example, let's say, yesterday we had Pani Hati festival. So we had poha, and we had curd and jaggery and 5 types of fruits, 5 types of sweets. Now everything was on our plate. Now, when the poha, atukulu, if it's lot of thing in your plate, and at that time if somebody comes and puts paisam on the top of it, you cannot enjoy the taste of paisam, because already everything has become mixed in the plate. Then you cannot enjoy. But if you clean your plate, and then if somebody puts paisam in that, oh, you will relish it's like a nectar. So what is happening with us is we are already so much saturated with so many materialistic things that we cannot enjoy the taste. If we remove those materialistic activities that we engage in, then we can actually relish the taste. Now, how do you do that practically is again another class which we can go for 2 hours. I'm just trying to give you something from the top. So make sure that your 22 hours are spent properly, so that these 2 hours come out quality way. Associate with devotees and take proper rest. Keep healthy body. If you have a healthy mind, healthy body, then you can chant properly. Also, just before you start chanting, you read something which inspires you, something about the glories of holy name. You just go to the Google and you press glories of holy name, oh, you will get hundreds of quotes about the importance of chanting holy name from different scriptures that may inspire you. And also there are two things. One is a point of concentration. We need to concentrate on the holy name and we simply need to hear. But there is also something called circle of concentration. That means suppose if your mind is not focusing on point of concentration, that means on Krishna, then you can allow it to drift a little bit in circle of concentration. For example, sometimes what happens, when I go for house programs, at the last when I'm coming out, whoever the host, they have so many things to say and they'll be talking. What happens usually, sometimes small children, they'll be running here and there and making ruckus, they may throw something. And now I see the mothers, they are so smart. Even when they are talking to me, though they are talking to me, their mind will be on their child only, where my child is running. And mentally they will make a boundary. If my child is playing in the hall, till that time I can keep asking questions to Mataji, Mataji is replying, fine. But if my child crosses the boundary of this hall, then she'll stop talking with me and run and hold the child. Because she knows after this boundary, I cannot control the child. He may break something, he may get hurt. Similarly, in our mind also, we need to make one boundary in our mind. I will allow my mind to drift this much. Beyond that, if it's going, I'll hold it back. That means, goal is to listen to Krishna as holy name. But if that is not happening, then you allow your mind to drift a little bit, like you can remember some favorite pastime of Krishna, or if you're chanting near your puja room, just look at some photo frame of Krishna. Well, I'll tell you something. I was once hearing Mahanidhi Swami's class, that he was saying one very beautiful point. He said that while chanting, you can actually read the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. That you can do. Like in our Vizag temple, just next to the altar, we have Hare Krishna Mahamantra written in English and Telugu. So sometimes I do that. While chanting, just look at the Mahamantra and keep reading it. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. That's all. Simply doing that, nothing else. Going on reading it. So Maharaj said that if you do that also, it will help you a lot. So reading the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, looking at Krishna's picture, remembering some favorite pastime, reading about the glories of holy name, associating with people who are good in chanting. If you sit with those kind of people, who are very good in chanting, then you will also feel to chant. See, but sometimes if you are in association of those who are themselves not chanting properly, then you may get little discouraged. See, the thing is, the devotees, the way they talk about chanting is as if it is some kind of a punishment, The devotees, they will ask each other, kitna mala baki hai? 4 mala. So lucky, mera 8 mala baki hai. As if it's a punishment, Hey, you only 4 mala, na? I have 8 malas are left still. So imagine what Krishna will be thinking, up there in Goloka or in our hearts or wherever in our altar, that, Hare Baba, what is this? As if, it's a punishment to be with me. It's a punishment to spend time with me. Devotees are discussing, Are, mere 8 mala baki hai, tumhara sirf 4 mala baki hai. So don't associate with that kind of devotees. And of course, we are all on the same level, but at least we can try to get somebody who's a little better than us, and try to take their association. And then some real practical tips like eat healthy and don't take lots of don't feed your stomach very heavily, then you can't get up in the morning, then you can't chant, you'll feel drowsy. And like that, there's some practical tips. And then on the spiritual platform, one thing you can do is never ever hear criticism of any devotee. That pulls us heavy down. Oh, it will just, in a minute it will put you down. Completely you cannot concentrate on your chanting, no matter how much you try, how many classes you hear. And Vaishnava Aparadh, we can be careful. And the 10 offenses. Acha, one more tip I can give you. When you chant, you think of Shri Guru. Your Guru, your Diksha Guru or your Siksha Guru or something like that, who inspires you. If you, we have so many Vartaman Guru Vrinda in ISKCON, you can think about it. Day before yesterday, I was reading this Mana Shiksha, Raghunath Das Goswami. In that, on the first sloka, he mentions that we should keep attachment to Shri Guru Very important point. Of course, there are many other points also, how we should keep attachment to Vrajavasis, to Vaishnavas, to Brahmanas. But I was particularly enjoying this point, Shri Guru. We can keep our focus on Shri Guru. So what you can do is, when you are chanting, you can think as if your Guru Maharaj is sitting right in front of you, and your Guru Maharaj is telling you that, can you chant for me? I want to listen how you chant. So then your chanting will be so beautiful because your Guru Maharaj is listening to you. So you will be so, perfectly chanting. You will not chant loudly, and you will not start swaying your body here and there, and you will not chant passionately. You will do it very sweetly and softly, as if you are doing it in front of your Guru. See, if you are in see, the whole point is, if we are aware of Krishna in our heart, everything in our life can go properly. The problem is we are not even aware that he is there. See, imagine, you go to some shop for shopping, in that shop they'll put, this shop is under CCTV surveillance. And you have to become, you'll become so careful, everything is all right because it's coming under CCTV. You see, if somebody is shooting you in the camera, you'll become so conscious. How am I looking? How am I talking? Because it's getting recorded. So similarly, if we are conscious of Krishna all the time, that Krishna is in there and he's recording all the time, and if you remain in that connection, then everything in your life can be so beautiful. So you can always remind yourself that when I'm chanting, Krishna is listening. Have you seen that beautiful picture of Bilvamangal Thakur, where he's singing and Krishna is sitting? You can see that in the net, you put Bilvamangal Thakur in Google, you'll get it. So you can imagine like that, while you are chanting, that Krishna is sitting in front of you and he's hearing you chant. So actually I can go on and on, but I want to take some other questions also. Like that, there are so many tips which you can follow in life. But then again, all said and done, don't get overworked up, as I said, and mind is definitely going to go here and there, but just be in the process of getting it back, and again trying to fix it up.
Prabhu from Nitaisevini, very encouraging class. To overcome falling to complete 16 rounds, expansion of push. He wanted to give more expansion on the push.
Oh, is it? Okay. So I said push is pray until something happens. So what I was trying to say is that don't lose hope and keep praying and keep praying. So it was in connection with keeping faith on Krishna. So what I was trying to say is that what we think may be solution may not be solution for everything. So keep praying to Krishna, and definitely some solution comes up. You just need to have patience. So see, I'll tell you, in a forest, if you go inside a cave, when you enter the cave, it's very simple because there is light everywhere in the forest. You can see everybody, and you enter inside the tunnel, the cave. Now, when you go midway of the cave, it's a little difficult because what will happen when you will come midway, you can't see the entrance light because you came far off from the entrance. But you can't see the other end of the tunnel because that is very far. Now, what will happen in the middle? It will be pitch dark. At that time, you lose hope. You will think, "Arey, I'm not becoming a good devotee also. I'm not able to chant properly also. Neither am I able to be a good materialistic also. All the time, my colleagues are also complaining, you don't come for party, you don't eat food with us, you don't take tea, coffee, you don't take onion, garlic. Neither my parents are happy with me, neither my relatives are happy with me. So neither I'm able to make them happy, neither I'm able to become a pure devotee. Oh, what is my life? I feel frustrated." This every devotee will go through when they are in the middle of the tunnel. Now at this time, what happens? Some of them, out of frustration, will turn back. At least I should be a good son-in-law, at least I should be a good son, at least forget it, I can't become devotee, and they will try to go back. But some devotees, what they'll do is, with the help of their mentors, Siksha Guru, Diksha Guru, other Vaishnavas, seniors, they'll keep it up. They'll hold the hand and they will move forward. Even though at present you can't see any hope, you can't see any light, you don't even know where is your goal, but you will keep going and you will keep going. Then after some time you will see the light. Then you will say, "Oh God, it was worth it. The whole journey was worth it." So what I meant to say by push is, don't give up. Don't give up. Just be there. There will be times in life where you will feel, oh, but I go back because you can't see what is in the front. But have faith, because others are also in front of you, going through the same path. Just hold their hand and keep going. So keep praying. Don't lose hope. Keep praying. And then one day you will see the light, right? See, all that, everything, see, the ending is, in Krishna consciousness, is always going to be nice. And if the ending of your story is not nice, then it's not the ending. Picture abhi baki hai. It's not the end of your picture. This one thing you can always remember. If you think, no, Mataji, this was not good in my life, how come this happened? Krishna didn't help. Then just remember, picture abhi baki hai. The picture is not ended. You are just in interval. Now the rest of, bring popcorn again and sit. Rest of the movie is a balance, because it will always end well. Because Krishna is the director and he will always give a beautiful ending to your picture. Got my point? I hope my answer could help you.
Thank you so much. And there is one last question from Hariharan Prabhu Chakra. Krishna is neutral to all as well as partial to his devotees. Sadhu Sammashaya, and one of the transcendental qualities of Krishna. Can you please explain one?
Oh God, I've given a 1 hour class on this when I explained 64 qualities of Krishna, and I gave a number of very, very interesting stories, actually, how Krishna helps his devotees. But here I would like to speak on it in one line. If there is a fire sacrifice going on, if you go near to the Havan Kunda, where the fire sacrifice is happening, then you will feel hot. If you are watching the fire sacrifice from far off, then you will not feel so hot. So you can't say that the fire is being partial to you. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. It is there in its own place. It's just that when people come near to the fire, they feel heat. If they go far off from the fire, they don't feel the heat. So it is like this. Those who love Krishna, those who chant Krishna's name, those who are connected to Krishna, those who are devotees of Krishna, what they're simply doing is, they're just coming closer and closer to Krishna. And because they're coming closer to Krishna, they are getting protected by Krishna, because it is a byproduct of coming closer to Krishna. Nobody has any role in this. It is an automatic process, because Krishna is so powerful that anybody who comes close to his Leela, Nama, his Prasada, devotees, his Katha, anybody who tries to come close, they keep getting purified, and automatically they get the protection of the Lord. So you can't say actually that God is partial, because he's not being partial. He's simply there where he is. It's just that when we are moving closer to him, automatically it is happening. When you move closer to the fire, you feel sweating. When you move closer to Krishna, then you automatically get protected by Krishna. Even Krishna can't do anything about it. It will automatically happen. All his Leela Shaktis, all his different potencies will purify you, protect you, give you a lot of affection, reciprocate with you. So definitely Krishna is not partial, but at the same time somebody becomes a devotee of Krishna, then he gets protection by Krishna. So yeah, so Krishna is not partial. That's what we can say. He's impartial. But at the same time we are saying he's partial to his devotees, so but it is not partial. It's just that we are getting closer to him, and this is automatically happening.
Thank you so much, Mataji. When I give the questions here, on behalf of our all Krishna Katadesh devotees, I would like to thank you so much, Mataji, for your nectarian class with wonderful examples. This as we're expecting, we could relate very much to practically to our life and our experiences in our devotional service. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We want to show our love and gratitude. Very personally, we cannot give, but our Hasika wanted to present you something to express our love and gratitude. Hasika?
Oh, that is beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm very happy. I can't read it though. Okay, I need to get a little closer. You can put that in the spotlight. Oh yeah, you say thank you, Mataji. Oh my God, how sweet. Thank you.
Host can put in the spotlight.
Thank you so much.
सब कृष्णा 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 लगे सब कृष्णा कृष्णा